What's good, my peoples? Check me out, man. Last week, I made a horrible mistake and it almost cost me my life. That's not an exaggeration. I spent an entire week in intensive care. And I want to tell you guys about that mistake so that you won't make it and you don't have to go through what I went through. I went out for a long run, and at the end of that run, I felt dehydrated. I saw a lady in the street selling fruit punch, and I was like, okay, let me have myself a glass of that so I can hydrate myself. Well, the lady had the fruit punch like in a plastic bin, and when I asked her to serve me a cup, I noticed that her hand actually touched the fruit punch. You know, she put one of those big spoons in there, and I saw how she touched it. And I said, ma'am, you're not wearing any gloves. So when I said that, obviously I had a feeling about that. But she told me, oh, no, look, I'm very clean. My hands are very clean, which they appear to be. For whatever reason, that was enough for me to ignore my gut feeling and say, okay. She served me the fruit punch on a Monday, and on a Friday, 5 days later, I was at the hospital with extreme pain in my stomach and, throwing up and just feeling the worst I've ever felt in my life. Well, it turns out I got a bacteria which was basically eating me from the insides, which was just killing me. So I go to the hospital on Friday. They give me some treatment. They thought it was food poisoning. I thought it was food poisoning. I told them exactly what happened, and they thought the same. So they were kind of treating me for that. I ended up going home that night, but the entire Friday night, I was in pain. So the following day, I told my wife, I can't take it anymore. We're going to have to go back to the hospital. Well, by the time I got to the hospital, a different one, I was in extreme pain. When I tell you extreme, I'm talking about screaming in pain. When you see a man screaming, I'm in my mid-40s. I know what pain is about. If you see me screaming, then you know it's another level of pain. And it was like, okay, we're going to have to keep you here and find out what's going on. No problem. From Saturday night to Sunday morning, I was in horrible pain at the hospital and, in my room that they put me in because I was going to stay there. And the following morning when the doctor went to see me, she was like, nah. All the testing we did, we found out that you have this bacteria. We're going to have to send you to ICU, to intensive care for this situation. This is real serious. I'm like, let's do it. My wife signs the paperwork and all that good stuff. They take me to intensive care. I'm telling you right now, if you've never been to intensive care, I hope you never end up there. I don't wish that upon anyone. This is definitely the worst experience of my life. When I get to intensive care, I'm already in extreme pain, right? And come to find out, while they were treating the bacteria that I had already tested positive for, they found a second bacteria. That second bacteria was tearing my gallbladder apart. But they could not do an emergency surgery right then and there because they had to stabilize me. My blood, from everything that was going on, was almost turning into jelly. Like what the measurements for how thick your blood can be, the highest number is 400. My blood levels were at 5,000. So the doctor said, yo, If we try to do that surgery now, have, cardiac arrest on the spot. So first we got to stabilize his blood before we can do the surgery. So now I have to wait another day to do that surgery. Finally, the day comes. They take me where they have to, operation and all that good stuff, get the surgery done. I had to have my gallbladder removed. Okay? There was no fixing it. There was no, let's, fix it. It was just, we got to have it taken out. Great. Sign whatever documents need to be signed. Let's get this done. Because I couldn't handle the pain that I had. Surgery successful. Check it out. I have one incision here, another one inside my belly button, literally, another one here, and another one there. So I got all these incisions, for the process that they do to have your gallbladder removed. Having said that, all of these situations, these bacteria almost took my life. All because I ignored my gut feeling. The moment I told that lady, hey, you're not wearing any gloves, what I was really wanted to say was, nah, I'm not gonna take it. I'm sorry. That's okay. I don't want it. But she somehow convinced me. I slipped. Just because she told me, oh no, look, my hands are clean, I should have never even looked at her hands. Because it doesn't matter how that they look clean. The point is that you're not supposed to touch the food. We're talking about a lady that's selling fruit punch in the sidewalk in the street somewhere. In fact, when I took the glass of fruit punch, I sat right there with her because I had just finished running like 22, 23 kilometers. So I was really tired. So I sat there with her and I watched as she did things like rub her face, rub here, with the same hand that had just been inside the damn juice. So if you ever go somewhere and you feel like you have that gut feeling like I shouldn't need that because the way that this person is handling it, listen to your gut feeling. Because if you ignore it, you might end up just like me in intensive care.